listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Oh, welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. How are we? Well, we just been freaked out. I got the weirdest... I know everybody here can relate to what I'm about to tell you. A strange experience, nonetheless, just happened to me. So, this morning I wake up and, I didn't sleep much. 3 hours, right? Usually I catch a nap in the afternoon, fine. But I woke up, went to the doctor's. 10 o'clock I got there. It was pouring rain. Got some video. I'll show it tomorrow. But I came home. I got home around, 11:30-ish, 12-ish. Texted a few people, changed, got ready for the workout. I was going to go at 2 o'clock. I was just going to sit down. I just ate, right? I stopped at Wendy's. I got something good. Quarter-pound double stack, no pickles. 4-piece fries and a drink. Well, anyway, I ate that. Came home, I have a drink before I go work out. I sat down, I changed my shoes. I was wearing flip-flops, I think, or sandals, and then I switched them into my workout shoes. Sat down. Fell asleep. Woke up, 7:17. 7:17. So I slept the entire afternoon away. Well, when I woke up, I thought it was the morning. And I'm like, because it's 7:17, the sun's up already. And it looked like it was about that bright because the sun was on the other side of the house, giving the illusion it looked like morning light. And then it dawns on me. It didn't dawn on me yet. And then I looked at the time and the date on my Google Nest, and it said July 11th. And I go, wait a minute. I had a doctor's appointment on 11th. Wasn't that yesterday? Thinking, it's tomorrow morning. Wait a minute. I turn around and my blinds are open on my window, which means it wasn't nighttime yet because I always closed those blinds and they were still open because it was raining and we were having some bitchin' storms. I kept it open so I had a visual. I thought for sure. I had laundry. I was doing laundry. I had to go out there and put the derinkler on for 20 minutes because that was stuck in there for 8 hours almost. It is the greatest feeling when you're in that time warp and you think it's the morning the next day. And I'm like, wait a minute. I already went on this appointment. Wait a minute. 7:17 p.m.? Oh no! I got a show to do in 40 minutes. How am I going to do that? Oh no. I mean, I already prepped the show in the morning, so thank God. I know me now. I do everything in the morning. And usually an hour before the show, I'll go on Twitter and see if there's anything new and, like that. Didn't work out. Didn't eat. Well, I ate, but I usually eat another 2 times after that. So I'm a little bit shaky. But we're going to have a good show tonight. I just wanted to, don't you love those experiences though? Like you wake up, you think it's the morning and it's the same day. Because how could I have slept from just, 12:30 in the afternoon all the way to 7? I only had 3 hours. So yeah, and then I was sitting on the couch and I'm like, I am very hungry. I'm starving for some reason. You slept the whole day away, you schmoho. Oh, it was so weird. And then I had to backtrack and look at texts. And I'm like, what was the last text? I go, oh no, it was today. It still is. I can't believe it's July 11th and I didn't do my show. So here we are. We're going to, talking about the government, automatically, what comes to your mind? Somebody says, government. In my mind, I think when somebody starts talking about the government, I hear the word government. I think corruption. They kill people, allegedly. That's what fear, the IRS, right? I think violation rights. They do things illegally. There's a lot of things that and imagine we're living in the best version of a governmental society, right? You want to talk about Norway and shit like that, go right ahead. Matter of fact, you can move there. Tell me how that feels. Have everything you want, but what are you going to do? Just going to sit there? It sure is cold today. It's beautiful today. Wow. This is just like yesterday. Ain't it beautiful? Oh boy. This is great. I love Norway. It's beautiful, ain't it? Ma, Swedish meatballs. Yeah, make myself laugh on that one. But all right. So I don't trust the government. That's one of those top 10 things that I just made up about the government I think of when I hear the word government. Lies, deception, deceit, murder, corruption, lies, murder, deceit, corruption. So we're going to talk about why would we all of a sudden out of nowhere think that an ex-retired, pension-paid, ex-military guy, girl, whatever, all of a sudden they don't have an allegiance. They swore an oath to defend this country. There's only one God. The one that you want to be real. 10 things. They're all bad. And we live in the best of it. But I don't believe them. I think they're lying to us about everything that's going on. For all we know, Grush and the whole lot of them are scripted out employees of the government telling us this lie. I know it sounds silly, right? You wouldn't think that the government would ever come up or do such a thing. But what if it was? I know. It's fun to think about, wow, whistleblowers coming forward. Isn't this great? We're finally going to know the truth about aliens and UFOs. No, you're not. You already know the truth. It's a repeat story. You know what? I could end the show now and tell you to watch yesterday's show. You know, should I? I mean, we could, I got to work out. I don't want to work out too late. So, I mean, you want to end it? There's nothing new going on. It's the same bullshit. I know. Yes, we're going to do a show. You want to know who I talk to? That's the devil on the shoulder. Anytime I look over here and talk or have a conversation, it is the devil. I look over here. No offense, Jeanette, but that's the angel on my shoulder. Why would that be offensive anyway? So I look this way. Going to be a controversial thing. Just a little food for thought. And I know, what are you talking about, Rich? I'm talking about I've got good on one shoulder, bad on the other. And they talk to me and I can't stop it. Let's do the show. Let's get started. I know, quickest roll call ever. Jeanette throwing down a £5, 5 quid super sticker. Yahoo! Jeanette throwing it down first in town. Mucho gusto, the angel of Generoso. Jeanette, thank you very much. And if you guys want to help support the show, same thing. Super chat, super sticker, PayPal, Cash App. All the links are in the show description. Oh, and Jeanette, and the PayPal too. Thank you. Yeah. I forgot. I just saw it when I woke up. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. What is this? Thank you very much, Jeanette. Throwing it down 2 different ways till Sunday here at Goof On. And you can do the same. We are supported by you, which means all the links are in the show description. You know what to do. Skinny Barbarino, welcome to the show. Hey! And then you threw down 2. So thank you for the 2 $1 super donos. That's twice as much love without wearing a glove. Mucho gusto, Skinny Barbarino Generoso, a continuing supporter of Goof On, a member of Goof On. Thank you for all the new members. An Intergalactic Angler for purchasing 5 or 10 memberships, I think, in the last few days. Dude, I mean, bro, that's stellar. Thank you very much for doing that. And just make sure you keep checking that every month. If you know, I don't know how that works, but I don't want you to keep getting charged every month. You know, however, $5 each one. Yeah. So make sure you uncheck that box and you don't, God forbid you forget. Oh no, it's another $50. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate the support. And welcome to the show. Let's just get going. I've talked a lot. I know. about nothing. Solar Marshall, actually, bullshit. I talked about things we needed to talk about. I take that back. Everything I say means something to me. Hey, Solar Marshall, welcome to the show. Zach Diecast Mount. You guys always come in right next to each other. I always notice that when they're here. Say hello. What do you say? How do you be, Mr. Mate? Welcome to the show. Denbub. Welcome to the show. Toby Mickle. Welcome to the show. The boss of Goofon. Diane Boz. Welcome to the show. Ms. DJ. Welcome to the show. Shelly Michelle Morrison. Not the kitty cat girl. Welcome to the show. Moonlit. Dude. Welcome to the show. You know, he knows what I mean. AVFC 666S. What's up, brother? I recognize family when I see it. How you doing? Yeah, you're the S version, which is for serious. Welcome to the show. He's one of Satan's guru guys. Don't you understand? Scandrel. That's a cool name. How you doing? See, I don't know if you've been here before. I think you have been, but if not, welcome back. All right, let's get started. Derek Kennedy. Welcome to the show. If I didn't say your name, David Wilcox, not Wilcox. Welcome to the show. If I didn't say your name, it doesn't mean I don't love you or care about you. It means I talk too much, and I got a show to do. So let's get going. Tacy, got to start that. Welcome, Dee's House as well. Genetics, what's up? Michelle. Oh, that was like Axl Rose. Michelle. Sweet child of mine. All right, let's get going. I know. Solar Marshall's like, dude, don't do that. Please don't sing. I didn't come here to hear you sing. I didn't come for the jokes. Just get to work. Do your job. And STFU. All right? All right. There you go. What are we talking about? Just like you, I'm curious because it has been now noted that there will be, I believe Burchett, Tim Burchett, representative, where is he from? Connecticut, Wyoming, says that there is going to be another congressional UFO hearing September, November. Somewhere in there. Probably, if it's the government, November. Because, if you can go later, they'll take advantage of that. Give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You know what I mean? That's the government. That's why they are who they are. And let's not forget, we live in the best government on the planet. Without their corruption, without their lies, without their deceit, we would not be where we are. I guess. I don't know. You know what I know? All the countries in the world are dirty, right? Aren't they? The big ones. I don't know how we did it with only 300 million people. When I was born, 1968, due to math, 55. There was 150 million people in the United States. So in my lifetime, that has doubled. That's not a lot of people. There is population control. I don't want to get into it, but there's one that starts with the big letter A. A lot of people just got real sensitive over something that was overturned. What is it? Roe v. versus Wade? What is that? Something like that. I don't know. No, that's not it. What's the one where they, there's some sort of population control, in my opinion, when it comes to the United States. There is. And the reason I bring that up, it's because they don't want 1 billion people here. See, we could do it. We should have been at 500 million by now, but we're not. We are one of the slowest growing, for a superpower, slowest growing countries probably ever. But in the last 50 years, it doubled. And I think what's going on, I know you're going to think this is crazy, but you have to think like the government, because the government's 100 steps ahead of us. But what if there really is going to be a false flag, alien invasion? All right. And of course, if they pulled that off, in my mind, it would have to happen in the United States, and they would actually have to pull it off somehow. Because I thought maybe they would do it in the Ukraine, Russia, where the war is, and they could just mix it in with the war. But what if it's about population control? I mean, if they could knock out even 10% of the population in the United States, why do so many people go missing? Think about it. Think about it all. It's almost as if there is some sort of population control going on. In a way, yes. In a way, no. Maybe the population control was an inadvertent side result. Unexpected. They didn't realize that, oh my God, look at all of look how slow our country's growing. We can keep prices low, we can control it easier. It's easier to control less people. You get too big, the infrastructure starts to fall apart, can't afford to keep things going, bridges start collapsing, tunnels start imploding. People start getting scared and start revolting against the government that's not paying to get this shit done, but will give 400 billion to a war that it's not even about us. Although if you follow closely, it's really about us, right? We're the police. We're the world's police. Yeah, all of a sudden. Yeah. Trump says bye-bye, and the war says hi. Soon as the switch is over. Yeah, it's a miracle how that happened. No corruption. But it's a multifaceted, multi-level operation. It's not just about the USA. It's about world domination. They're all in on it. Do you think Chinese people get abducted? In China. Tell me one abduction story from China. I don't know any. I've heard of UFOs over China. I've heard of aliens supposedly walking around the streets in China. But I've never heard of people getting abducted out of their cars in China. It's got to happen, right? Because if it doesn't, and it's here only, well, hey, gosh, wow. I mean, Jesus, that would be weird, right? Per capita, as many people, 600,000 people a year go missing. Most of them come back. But there's a lot of people that go missing every year. I think it was 5,000 people. That's just in the United States a year that go missing. Nobody knows anything about what happened to them. There's without a trace. That's a lot of people. Imagine if you're an alien and you're getting approximately 400 to 500 bodies a month to eat. Maybe to infest another planet, to do... Can you imagine 500 bodies a month? That's a lot. That's just the U.S. I know I'm thinking so far outside the box, because when I heard Greer talking about how the Tic Tacs were being used to move drugs at 30,000 miles an hour, I thought, well, hell, my theory's just as good as any then. And you know what? Mine makes a little sense, even though his does. It does. That's a great way to smuggle drugs. It's the best. Who's going to know? Boom! 30,000 miles per hour. Nobody'd see it. Bing! You'd be like, did I just... No, you didn't. Did you? Yeah, but I didn't either. Yeah, you might think you saw something at 30,000 miles an hour. Oh, I think I just zoomed it out. This is for Arizona. That's an inside joke. And nobody will get that. There's only one person. Tonight, we're drinking Ghost, sugar-free. And this is Warheads. This is sour watermelon. Let's take a sip. It's sugar-free, but I had one last night and it worked well. Feel the burn. Oh, that it's sour. Wow, that is good. That is really good. All right. So and as crazy as it sounds, it makes sense, doesn't it? So that would mean what? That would mean aliens really exist. They're helping us with population control. Maybe. And what if it's possible that they're doing experiments on people alongside the government? We're working alongside the aliens. It's what I heard. It's what I heard. If that's true, then of course there's going to be medical improvements, medical advancements. There's going to be all sorts of DNA splicing and gene splicing. Am I saying that wrong? Yeah, and I really do. I think they look for ways to make humans better. I don't know. There might be something special about us after all. You know, what if we are? What if we are maybe not the most intelligent, but what if we're the most complex of all of the species? And what if Earth is a farm for our disbursement, to raise us, to let us learn about life, have emotions, and you know how they say if you're good, you go to heaven. Hell is for bad people. Well, what if hell is it's real? I know everything is. I know. I'm just saying. But people live by this shit. But the Bible really is If you know the acronym, Bible is basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's what Bible stands for. It's what I heard. Hey, don't kill the messenger. I'm just like Rush about what I'm about to say here. And yeah, it's hearsay. But I'm not making any claims, mind you. I'm just a messenger anyway. So build this great humans, keep them out. Keep us hidden away from the dense, populated area of the galaxy, right? They keep us on a spot. We're on a spiral galaxy, and we're on the outer edge of an arm in a thick cloud of soot and gases that we're pretty well hidden, even with the help of the sun, shining so bright. We're so small, it kind of, I don't know if they have telescopes that can see through that shit. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if the aliens out there are looking for Earth-like planets, but I believe this could be a farm where we're worked on, we're adjusted, we're manipulated, and everything that's going on right now is a learning process, and the good people go to heaven, and the bad people get reconditioned in hell. And you sign that contract. When you go in to take over this avatar, you sign a contract saying, I won't kill, I won't da-da-da. If I do, I go to hell. All right. That's the Christian version. The atheist version is do whatever you want, because there's no proof. Everybody knows that Jesus isn't real. Everybody knows the Bible doesn't mean that. Everybody knows it's just to keep us in check. Really? Well, why would the Bible need to be put out there to keep us in check? And meanwhile, by the way, there's 100 different versions, if not more, of what the Bible is supposed to be interpreted as. And there's more than one God. How could that be if we're all supposed to follow this one rule? So let me ask you this, aliens. What the hell's so wrong with this picture? You know what the answer is? Humans. Ouch. Ouch. We gave you the rules. You altered them. That's what humans do. Rules for thee, not for me. That's the human way. We're looking for our way. And it's right there in the Bible. If you just read it, just follow the rules and everything in there, you'll go to heaven. Rules? If there are no rules, then there's chaos. And we cannot have chaos. Really? Really? What about the 1500s, huh? What about that? What about the Vikings, huh? They're all in hell. Really? They were just bettering their humanity. No, they were just bettering their thought of what they. You know what? It doesn't make sense. Nothing does. It's all bullshit. The Bible. Vikings. You just can't blanket the entire UFO thing over humanity in one era. See, that's what people don't do in this field. They don't think, oh my God, was this going on, 2,500 years ago? They just think of what they can do now for themselves. How can we make more money? And how can we keep these aliens from wiping us out? Can you imagine if there really is a relationship between aliens and humans? How do you think that goes? If they're our makers, Prometheus, if they're our makers, how can they have a relationship with, It doesn't make sense. They're not the makers. These specific aliens are our protectors. If you go by what Richard Doty says, out of the 5 alien species, 4 are protecting the earth and 1 wants to hurt us. And it takes every ounce of fiber in the 4 other alien species to protect the humans from this one alien species that didn't sign the treaty in 55 or whenever the frig it was. That's what Doty said. Who do you believe? I know, all over the map, but we're all in the same topic, the government. And when you have people controlling the narrative and the media, you're going to get their way of thinking pushed onto you. Doesn't that frighten? Doesn't it scare you a little bit? That they're controlling the narrative. 1,000,000%. And when they're controlling it the way they're controlling it, by just putting more people and more whistleblowers out without showing us anything, it's just a freak show without the freaks. That's all it is. That's all this is. It's pomp and circumstance. It's nothing. It's window dressing. It's a front. And it of course, it always comes down to money. So if you backtrack everything and you go, hey, man, what do you mean money? Oh, you didn't know that the government was funding secret hidden programs? You didn't know that? Huh. Well, the new language in the FY24 IAA legislation would effectively end all funding. Get this. They'll end all funding for any hidden UAP. Hold on. UAP programs in SAPs unless they comply with Congress. If that doesn't sound like, wow. If that doesn't sound, what is it? Authoritarian? Is that what it is? Check this out. Come on. There you go. There it is. The categories of activities covered by the prospective funding ban are defined in 6 expansive paragraphs to include any activities relating to, among other things, recruiting, employing, training, equipping, and operations of, and providing security for government or contractor personnel with a primary, secondary, or contingency mission of capturing, recovering, and securing unidentified anomalous phenomena craft, or pieces and components of such craft, and managing and providing security for protecting activities and information relating to UAP from disclosure. That's the longest sentence in the history of the English language. Also included is a broad range of activity related to reverse engineering, including work on any aerospace craft that uses propulsion technology other than chemical propellants, solar power, and electric ion thrust. Wow. Wow. Really? You don't say. Wow. All right. We're going to stop the funding to the secret programs. What programs? If I thought they were secret. No more. Can't tell you what it is. So how do I know where the money's going? Doesn't matter. It's a secret program. So this could be going right into your bank account and I wouldn't know about it. See the pierced lips? It's fear. They could do anything they want, and they do. So why would we believe them? Oh, he's retired. He waited till he started receiving his pension before he started oh, by the way, and he spoke with lawyers, and David Grush got approval from Dopser. Oh my God, the whole thing just smells of corruption. And it's all being corralled and monopolized by News Nation, KLS TV, George Knapp's home. And George Knapp should be investigated for dirty journalism someday. I'd like to know what this guy saw. I'd like to know whose D he saw. Supposedly, I mean, this guy, to me, seems like a nice guy. He does. He really does. I like George Knapp, but I don't think he's on the up and up. My opinion. I don't know what to think. But something doesn't smell right. Especially when the two 8 to 10 foot tall aliens that supposedly crashed in the kid's backyard a month before Grush goes viral, they hold on to that story. It was put out by News Nation, who is the parent company of KLAS TV, where George Knapp works. Really? How did they know to hold on to that alien story for 3 weeks? Because they know. Because Grush was already planned to go. They know. They're all friends. They're all talking to each other. I can hear George Knapp. I've got a story of a supposed alien crash landing in somebody's backyard, and there's video of the object on police cam. Now, you guys, we could go ahead with this story, but here's what I recommend. If you guys really want eyes on this thing, I recommend holding on to it. And then just before David Grush goes into the public eye, we put this story out there, which will give credibility to the things that Grush is saying. Alien bodies, UFOs. I know what he's going to say. This, my friends, will put News Nation on the map, and it will secure KLAS TV and my name in history. Okay, George, everybody don't talk about the aliens in Vegas until right after David Grush goes. Is it before or after, George? I'm not finding. I'll let you know. It's a little all too coincidental. It really is. I mean, what are the odds? So I want to know who these very public former senior officials, I want to know who these people are. You know what I mean? Before they come forward. Lou's book coming out next year, right? Lou's book. That book's going to crush it. Yeah. Intergalactic Angler. Oh. Ago. Thank you very much. My mouth is still watering from the drink. Mom's dog went nuts when you squeezed that. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, that's why I did it for someone else's dog. That's funny. And thank you for the $2 super chat. Mucho gusto, generoso. A continuing supporter of GoofOn. Thank you. Intergalactic Angler. What is this now? So I'm connected to Luis Elizondo now and the Tic Tac nonsense. Yeah, NAP is disinfo. Yeah, I've been saying this forever. Yeah, Solar Marshall's saying Knapp and Corbell are all disinfo, brother. And, you know, Solar Marshall's been in this longer than me. He knows what he's talking about, in my opinion. And you know why I believe that he knows what he's talking about? Because he's saying something that's exactly what I know. And I didn't talk to him about it. George Knapp is the center of the wagon wheel. No, I know. I heard the stories about Knapp and Corbell. I've heard nightmare stories about how inconsiderate and self-absorbed Corbell is. He's a very, very... I don't know him enough. Maybe if I met Corbell, maybe we'd get along. You know what I mean? I'd probably get along. I get along with everybody anyway, but when it comes to this subject matter, these people get extremely triggered. Rich, aren't you triggered right now? No. You haven't seen Triggered. No. You don't know me. Nobody knows. Triggered. The closest I've come to being triggered was the Brandon Fugel video I did a few months ago when he was calling everybody pigs. See, those guys too, Brandon Fugel, the whole Skinwalker Ranch, they're all connected with the same exact crew of people. And how could that be, you wonder? The same exact people are all involved in this. How's that even possible? And Ancient Aliens is involved in it too? Same people, yeah. I believe now Ancient Aliens is just pure guesswork. I don't know where they come up with some of the things they do. But when I first started watching Ancient Aliens, just like a lot of you, you're like, whoa, no way humans did this. That is the real Vaughn. I just go and email back from him. He says, hey, James Paul, what's this? A new type of clean energy will replace solar panels. What does that mean? It replaces everything. Why just solar panels? Your new type of clean energy will replace solar panels. Well, it should replace everything. And I know who this is right here. I am a UFO whistleblower. That's funny. All right. Now, and Metalhead says, our government has no credibility whatsoever. You guys get it. Yeah, look at this. Ross Snyder says, how do you get funding for something like this? You don't actually think they spend $20,000 on a hammer, $30,000 on a toilet seat, do you? Hey! Judd Hirsch in the house, everybody. It is... like, I wouldn't know that line. Independence Day. You don't think they spent $20,000 on a hammer and $30,000 on a toilet, do you? David! So we're all seeing things here on a level that's pretty level, right? Neither one of us are too much one way or the other. We're all flying pretty much in the same direction with what we're seeing. I swear to you, every fiber of my being tells me that George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, I don't know if they're disinfo. What if their videos, just like I said the last 5 days, their videos and everything they talk about are from real experiences that happen in the military. But the videos and the evidence that they get are just versions or imitations of what those events looked like. Because they're still top secret, or maybe they're just made up, or there's no evidence at all. Corbell and Knapp bring to the subject, and Jeremy says this all the time, the conversation. Well, all right, you bring the conversation of ufology to the mainstream media and whatnot with lies? They're not lies, Rich. With hearsay? Well, they're kind of hearsay. It's a story, but you don't have real evidence. What? Yeah, we do. We show it to you all the time. Can't prove it, right? We can't prove it. So they get away with it. I don't know if that's disinformation. I believe that Corbell and Knapp probably are disinformation, or maybe I don't understand the terminology of the word. I don't know. Because if they're telling us about real stories and everything's real, except for the evidence, which we can't prove, isn't really the evidence. The 29 Palms. Okay, you want to talk about that one? 100% flares. Right? Why doesn't he just come out and say it? Because there were 40-something witnesses on the ground that thought, if you connect the dots, there's a craft there, one craft. And we heard that with the Phoenix Lights and so many of these flare videos. It's just bright lights on a dark background give you an illusion of one object. Your brain does that, just like it does with clouds. It's called pareidolia. It tries to make something out of something it's not used to seeing or familiar with, and you know what I mean. So Corbell thinks because 40 of these 20-something-year-old kids who were out there watching this, they have very little experience in life, let alone looking at the sky. Well, all Jeremy has to do is just admit it. I made a mistake, but, could have been a UFO. He can't do that. Soon as he does that, in his mind, he loses all credibility. And I guarantee you, George Knapp is saying, don't you effing dare. Don't you ever think about telling people you were wrong. As soon as you tell people you were wrong, Jeremy, you will lose credibility. Screw it. Who cares what the few people have to say? This is the bigger picture here, kid. I've been in this game for 35 freaking years. You don't think I brought Bob Lazar into this not knowing what the consequences were? That's why I'm still here, kid. George has conversations with Corbell like that. Do as I say, do as I do, and you'll be in this as long as I have, kid. Oh, George, you're the only one who's ever taken. Shut up, big pansy. Put some pants on. And wear some shoes. You look like you're clam digging, for Christ's sakes. You don't want to end up like that other one. Who? Tom DeLonge. Where's he right now? Making millions, singing in a rock band? Shut up. You just do as I say, kid. Why'd you hit me? Because somebody's got to knock some sense into you. You're a pansy. But why do you look like a pansy when you're on TV wearing shorts? I have to give the illusion I'm an old man. I don't give a shit about my legs anymore. People have to realize I need sympathy votes now. You're the guy. I'm handing the baton to you. Don't you get it, kid? Why'd you hit me? I don't know. It felt good. You know they have conversations like that. All right, let's Tim Burchett's making the news. This is just getting weird. Hey, did you watch the new Weaponized? Yeah, well, this is from it, I think. No, they're not. No. Oh, yeah, no. We're going to talk about Weaponized in a little bit, but this is Tim Burchett on Fox. Tim Burchett is playing ball with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. This Burchett character is very confusing. Very, very. Tim Burchett is playing with fire. This guy better be careful. He thinks he can have a mouth like this forever? Yeah, he probably could. Good for him. Burchett speaking the truth, throwing it down, making us scared again. 2 bullets in the back of your head. That's what he said. And why isn't there volume?
So, Tim, do you know that the government has this crazy alien stuff and is keeping it from us?
I don't know about that Vegas deal, but the whistleblower, I know him. You know, he's a decorated veteran. I know in Washington, D.C. that
means nothing. All right? I have to stop it there. Oh, that sour drink. He's a decorated war veteran. He's got a Purple Heart. He saved 3 kids from a drowning pool. What? He saves cats out of trees. Good. He's a humanitarian. Doesn't make him smart when it comes to looking at things in the sky. Why do people think that you're credible? You know, Ted Bundy was a nice guy to his neighbors. He was a nice guy. Never thought he would do such thing. You're dealing with people. The most ruthless of the people are people. True. The most ruthless people are people. He's a decorated, like that matters. I just can't stand it when they give us all the window dressing. He's a decorated war veteran. He's got 2 Purple Hearts. He saved, and it's like, so I make people laugh. I make people cry. I give people, I don't know. All right, he's better than me, but it doesn't make him more credible. It doesn't mean they're credible. I hate that. A pilot, a police officer. Yeah. Have you ever met a police officer who wasn't corrupt? They're all corrupt. Yes, they are. And if any police officer is watching this right now, retired or active, you know you fudged your police reports here and there just to get your way.
That doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot, but in East Tennessee, that means a whole lot. Those are the Tic Tac videos you're seeing there right now. Those are videos that were taken by American military. That's their gunners, their gunner photography, and they're actually trying to follow those things, and those are some of the best pilots in the world. So either they're lying or somebody else is lying. And so I tend to go with our military men and women. I've been briefed on things, some things I can speak about and some things I can't, but that's probably a meteorite that you're seeing in Las Vegas. But,
so, well, what kind of things can you talk about? You said,
I am going to blow your minds right now. You ready? Okay. Whistleblowers. I just thought of this. Whistleblowers. when they come out on stage and they start talking and telling their story, is there anybody else right next to them to corroborate that story? How come we only get one whistleblower at a time? Why don't we get a group of 3 or 4 whistleblowers? Not witnesses to a UFO event, whistleblowers. Where are those people? Where's the groups? And you know why they don't do that? Because their stories won't match. And it'll kill the credibility. So you only have one whistleblower at a time. That's how you know when it's scripted. That's how you know it's bullshit. I take it back. It may not be scripted. But the whistleblower doesn't have evidence. So he could say or she could say whatever they want. It doesn't matter. Don't you get it? And they're not credible people just because they have a degree or they're a colonel or an admiral or a rear admiral or whatever. That doesn't make someone credible, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's still a human being. And in a lot of ways, I feel more credible than a lot of those people working for our government or any government. So I feel that about you too. These people get into these positions maybe with an idea that they can make change. But then they realize the whole freaking thing is corrupt. And if you don't follow the line, so, make yourself useful, you'll just be whoop, yip, yip. That's why these guys are so tight-lipped about everything. They create a brethren where they don't stab each other in the back. But when they do, it's not good. But how come we don't get a group? Getting like 3 people to whistleblow, that's just as strong as bringing a video to the table. If there were 3 whistleblowers that came out from the Rendlesham Forest incident and said, "Hey man, this is what we saw," and everything matched up, pretty much as Rendlesham Forest does, but they weren't whistleblowers. That story, if it never went out and that came out as whistleblowers some 50 years later, wouldn't that story blow you away? Like, if we just learned about Rendlesham Forest in a congressional hearing with 3 witnesses and they all said the same thing, I would also be wondering if it was scripted too. They can't win. They can't. There's always going to be somebody like me pointing out what's wrong. And we have to. We have to point it out. Darren 35IA, Internal Affairs? Thanks, Rich. We need more people like you to question all. Thank you. And I appreciate that, Darren, $5 just to say that, because that's an important comment. We need more people. Even if they're not like me, just a little bit, that helps. Just show initiative, like every now and then, support GoofOn maybe. Don't be afraid of any troll or haters out there. Let me tell you something. There's less and less of those than there ever have been. And I think people are coming around, Darren and everybody else, to GoofOn, feeling exactly the way you do right there. A lot of people don't have a voice. They're frustrated. You want evidence. We're not getting any evidence. We're not getting corroboration with evidence at all or with any other people. It's just one guy at a time or one girl. So far, no girls. But what is a woman? I'm joking. Thank you, Darren, 35IA. Mucho gusto generoso, and welcome to the family. That makes you a family member. Can't leave. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. David Roque? I hope I said that correctly. for the $2, thank you very much, mucho gusto generoso. You're saying, wow, the Georgia Guidestones, read the 10 rules of Earth. I know what those are. They blew up the Guidestones 2 years ago. Yes, and you know what the Guidestones said? 500 million people, I'm paraphrasing, 500 million people to be left on Earth, to be in perfect perpetuity with the Earth and nature and humanity. 500 million people on this whole planet sounds nice. We have 320 million or so here in the USA. Imagine spreading that out over the whole world. It would be phenomenal. I have to admit, I would love it. Love it. The Georgia Guidestones were blown up. They were designed, I think, in 1986, something in the 80s, by some person who funded it named Rosa Crucian, something like that. It was a fake name, an alias. But I can't believe somebody blew it up about a year and a half ago. That pissed me off. Thank you, David Roke. Hope I said that right. For the $2 and a great comment. Appreciate the super chats. Man, wow, it's 11 past the hour. And I usually take some time at the top of the hour to, play a video. I know I was playing Representative Tim Burchett, but so what? So what? We know what he's saying. Nobody wants to hear it. But Into Thin Air has another video out, a large earthquake, about 6.6 to 6.8, near the Caribbean. And there's a lot of solar flare activity. Let me tell you, that solar flare activity scares me. We have been lucky the last 120 years. Lucky we haven't been hit with one that can wipe out the infrastructure. It can happen any day. We're way overdue. We're way overdue. So that's why it's important that Into Thin Air keeps growing, doing what he's doing, because people aren't aware of this. If you're aware, how's that going to help you? If you're not prepared, we can make you aware of it, but preparing you, that's up to you. Don't say we didn't tell you and try to give you. I'm not even doing anything. So, hey, practice what I preach. I would love to, but I want to help you. Me, my days are done. I'm all right. I'm okay to meet my maker. All right. And if the world goes to shit, yeah, I want a front row seat, but I don't want to survive it. Although it would be interesting just for a few days. Wouldn't it? Oh my God. Can you imagine walking through a meteor blast that took out and seeing the cloud of dust and dirt and mountains and rocks? They're all going to come crashing down on the planet. Thousands and thousands of fires will erupt around the earth. You have minutes to get underground. What do you do? What do you do? Well, if you don't have shelter, you die. Into Thin Air, everybody. Bum, bum, bum.
Welcome back, July 10th, 2023, and we have a few things to talk about. First, I want to talk about this buoy that's going off in the Northeast, which really has nothing to do with what we're going to be talking about. This buoy is off the east side of Boston, Massachusetts. You can see down here this little red blip. That is what set this buoy off. This could be anything from a boat hitting it, a shark biting it, but I find it interesting because of what I'm going to show you in the next couple frames. Let's not forget, just a few days ago, hundreds, in fact, over over 400 people reported seeing a large meteor in the sky right in this area. Now, I'm not saying it has anything to do with this buoy, but the fact that all this stuff is happening in the Northeast, it's just got my spidey senses going a bit, if you know what I mean. Now, that's just to start the video. I want to get into this earthquake that just took place down here in the Atlantic Ocean, where two other buoys sit and have not been set off, even though this was a large earthquake. Take a look at this. They have actually re-upgraded this earthquake after downgrading it from a 6.8, then it went to a 6.4, and now they are measuring this thing as a 6.6 at 10 kilometers in depth. That is very shallow. And this is a very large earthquake for this part of the world. In fact, I did a quick measurement from the epicenter of the earthquake, which is right here, to the closest landmass we could find. Even though they're basically calling it an Antigua-based earthquake, the closest landmass is right here, which is Anguilla, about 186 miles away. But again, keep in mind how shallow this quake was at 10 kilometers in depth. We've got Puerto Rico right here. So in my opinion, this thing hits pretty close to home, specifically the fact that it's not one of the quakes we usually see here in the North Atlantic Ocean. This is down south near the Lesser Antilles Islands, and this is nothing really new. We've been seeing a lot of bigger earthquakes in this area. In fact, I made a video talking about Jamaica being due for a large earthquake. In fact, Volcano Discovery has not even re-upgraded this earthquake yet. They're still calling it a 6.4 after it was downgraded from a 6.8. Then the USGS brings it back up to a 6.6. And now we have Volcano Discovery calling it a 6.4. And you can see here they're naming it closer to Antigua than they would that closer landmass that we just discussed. Now, as this earthquake took place, we were getting hit with solar wind at the exact same time. Scrolling down to this page here, you could see all the different people on these islands that reported feeling it. Each one of these little diamonds is a separate report of somebody coming onto the website and reporting the shaking all the way as far west as Puerto Rico itself. Again, that is because of how shallow this thing was. Now, I want you to take a look at this chart here, and you're going to see this blue mass right here. That was launched off the sun, and it is now clipping Earth at around exactly 7:10. That is today. So the Earth's magnetic field is feeling pressure from whenever that CME was. I believe I have a graphic of that as well. But it's not a coincidence that these large amounts of energy that come from the sun that then clip Earth, whether it's a light skim or if it's a direct hit, these things do infect the crust of the Earth and can cause earthquakes, which I believe is the situation that we have just experienced today on 7/10/23. All right, I just went ahead and I refreshed the Volcano Discovery page, and they are now also calling it a 6.6. This was 53 minutes ago, so this just happened.
All right, if you want to catch the rest of I2TA's video, go to Into Thin Air to catch the rest. The video link will be in the show description at the end of the show. So go check that out. Thank you, Into Thin Air, for those reports. And, well, you know, when he puts a video out, I like to play maybe roughly a third to a half of it, and then you can go watch the rest on his channel. That's how it works. Yeah. But thank you very much, Into Thin Air, for allowing Goofon to play those videos. Good guy, too. Yeah. All right, I'm going to go back to Burchett because I like what he said. Let's go backwards. I never go back in the show.
And you can't talk about stuff.
Well, I can talk. Yeah, I can talk about this. Some of these craft that you're watching.
Let's not forget, Tim Burchett is the guy who says he will not sign an NDA to keep his mouth shut about UFOs, and he doesn't want to go in any backdoor, closed-door meetings with anybody because he's afraid that if he puts his life on the line, because that's what you're doing when you're signing those NDAs, because this guy doesn't trust himself that he can't keep his mouth shut. So I find it ironic and hypocritical that he's talking to everybody and saying things that it sounds like he heard in closed door meetings. I don't understand it. Tim Burchett is also putting a little window dressing on. This guy's so full of himself, it's hysterical. But I like him. He's saying things we're thinking. That's what I care about.
right there. They have no heat trail. They defy every bit of physics that we know about. They they can fly underwater or swim underwater, I guess, and they
nothing new. We know all this. We've been hearing about it since DeLong.
Basically have no friction, and there is no heat trail, so you don't know.
Again, that nobody's telling us anything in mainstream media. I'm going to start noting that down from now on. Anytime somebody's saying something, we're going to pause the video here and there, or I'll just yell it out. Already said, we know, right? I just want to note how repetitive everybody is. Everybody says the same things, including me. What else is there? What else is there to talk about in ufology other than the legislation laws, the threat, the whistleblowers, the corruption, right? All of that is continual. It's never ending. That's why we got to stay on top of things, because sometimes they change the narrative just to trick us a little more. But I find it funny that a guy who doesn't want to be involved in the details of ufology has such explicit details of UFO encounters. It's amazing.
We don't have any idea what's propelling them. And everybody says at first, well, that's the Russians. And you know good and well that Putin had a UFO, he'd land the thing on the White House lawn, probably get out, ride a unicorn bare-chested over to the president and punch him in the mouth, and then ride back to Mother Russia. If the Chinese had it, they'd own us. I mean, in all seriousness. So you're left with one other conclusion. These things are coming from somewhere else, and this has been covered up since 1947 or sooner. And
he says it like that's the only way it ever happened, right? Oh, the UFOs started in 1947. No. It's a narrative, and I don't like it. And it comes from somebody who's not well versed in ufology. Let's not forget that he's a Tennessee representative. What is he? I forget what he's called.
You know, we have military personnel that are decorated veterans telling us they've seen these things.
You see what I mean? Decorated veterans. Oh, they're decorated, so that makes them credible. Screw that. It makes them likable. Oh, he's such a hero. He's got to be. Why would a hero lie? Don't you get the manipulation? That's why they're using government ex-military personnel. Because a lot of people in America are like, 9/11, right? Right? Everybody's living 20 years ago. Oh, my heroes. Oh, they wouldn't lie. They wouldn't lie. How dare you say that about our first responders? All right, I'll say about the second and third responders. They're bullshitters. They're not experts. They're not credible. They're people.
And, you know, we just need to get to the bottom of it. I've added an amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act to declassify all things about UFOs and UAPs. Because if they don't exist, then why are they hiding them? And if they do exist, why don't we know about it?
If they don't exist, why are they hiding them? Because the technology's so effing powerful, we could destroy the planet? Oh, I don't know.
Tell me a little bit about how you know that the UFOs fly underwater.
Well, you just saw a video that just showed that right there. There was one.
That doesn't show it's going in the water. You dummy. What a dunce cap. What a dunce. Well, you see right there, that's going in the water at Mach 1. You dunce cap. Now I'm not a fan anymore of Burchett. Nah. This guy's so full of himself, it's disgusting. I think now he's a problem. I used to think he was part of it. Of the good. I don't think he's good. He's towing the line for the bullshit. What a freaking hypocrite. He got sucked in And now he's part of the problem. Fuck. They're gullible, man. They believe these people just because they don't know. And these people who are telling them these stories have been in the field. They know how to manipulate these people. You're not going to manipulate me. Hey, when evidence is brought to the table, I'll be quiet. I'm talking good evidence.
One that just trailed, and you can listen to the pilots if you. It's called the Tic Tac videos, like the candy, and you can Google it, and it's been on 60 Minutes, and they literally go underwater, and they fly out at the same speed, and these have been documented. And the trouble you've got is these pilots are afraid to come forward, even with whistleblower protection, because what happens, and I've talked to these pilots, they've been interrogated for over 8 hours, some of them, and then they're told not to say anything, and of course it ends up on their record. So I've actually spoken with pilots who said, look, I've destroyed this evidence because I don't want to have to come back and explain it to my superiors and then be subjected to ridicule. And yet it happens time and time again. And
Wait a minute. So he's talking to pilots who said that they destroyed evidence because they didn't. Do you know that's a violation? That's illegal. So that means they got evidence, didn't tell anybody, were thinking about going public, and then destroyed it. Maybe not in that order. Wow, that is a really compelling statement that Burchett just made. God, I wonder who he spoke with that should be in a lot of trouble, right? Or is it just another story? See, that's the problem. It's just another story, and everywhere I go, people bullshit to me.
Been told by some higher ups, Burchett, we got more important things to deal with than this. And well, what's more important than American fighting men and women in $50 million aircraft? We've had 13 certified close runners, because that's the movie, but they've had almost near collisions in the air. And this is public record. And yet, when we have a hearing, the Pentagon puts a couple of people in charge of it. And honestly, they couldn't spell UFO. They couldn't stop a 12-second video. Isabel Burchett, my little girl, could have stopped the video. And Adam Schiff, of all the people, I know somebody's head's going to explode on Fox when I mention his name. In a positive light, but he said he asked the best question. He said, what exactly am I looking at? Because the video they had was taken with a guy's cell phone inside of a plane canopy, and then they couldn't even stop a 12-second video. The most technologically advanced country in the world. We had the pilot, who was one of the pilots in the Tic Tac videos that had followed these UFOs through the air. He was not allowed to testify before our own intelligence committee. It was open to the public. It was the only one I've ever been able to go to as a sitting member of Congress, because obviously I'm not on the intelligence committee. But the only way he got in, he had press credentials, and they wouldn't even let that guy testify. So you tell me, what the heck is going on? Why are they covering this up? I think the world needs to know.
I do too.
Let's get to the bottom of it. Quit hiding it. Quit hiding it. And the worst thing about it is the Pentagon's going to come to us and say, and that's what they're doing now. Watch. They're going to say, oh, we need to study this. Send us a few $1 billion. Well, hell no, they don't need to study it. All they need to do is turn loose the files. Turn loose the unredacted files they have.
Turn them loose. And maybe we have another suspect for the cocaine at the White House.
Maybe. I don't know. All I can say is Tim Burchett did not leave that cocaine at the White House. I can tell you that.
Neither did Jesse Waters. Congressman, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Ryan Graves. Can you believe that? Ryan Graves said he didn't see the UFOs with his eyes in his early interviews, that he had seen them on radar, even though they were flying around for 2 years And everybody else was seeing them with their eyes just about every day. Every day? Yeah. See, I think Ryan Graves. Right. And then later on, he gives the illusion that he saw them with his eyes. Because he starts saying in the most recent interviews, he's like, oh, yeah, we saw them. Yeah, and when I saw them, he says, when I saw them, but he doesn't say when I saw them on radar, when I saw them with my eyes. He still hasn't specifically said in a sentence, I saw them with my eyes. So he knows what he's doing. He's giving the illusion. He's bullshit. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. They scared the shit out of him. And yes, his ISA saw it on his screen. They scared him with the jail. He said 10 years in Leavenworth. God. And then what do you think would happen if Ryan Graves got thrown in jail? The lawyers would go right to the media or social media. And what do you think would happen to Ryan Graves, who's supposedly a decorated war hero or something like that? I don't know if he is. But come on, this Ryan Graves, well, maybe they threatened him years ago. Yeah, maybe that's what it was. But Ryan Graves can come out now. And what is he going to say that he hasn't already said? What is he so scared of? He can't change his story. So he's bullshitting us then. That's what it is. So if Ryan Graves starts talking publicly, maybe he has to have a conscience. Maybe he's got a conscience. I don't know. I think because he knows he lied, he won't. The threat was prior to his talk to Congress. Right. Yeah. And I do remember how scared Fravors' co-pilot was, Dietrich. Alex Dietrich. She did look scared too. She didn't look like... Yeah, send me the video whenever you can. All right, that Burchett video wasn't bad, actually. He said the same thing he always does. So there really wasn't anything new. Speaking of new, let me see something. Yeah. That's crazy. I'm going to check something here. I've got a lot more to talk about, too. All right, here we go. What is this? Huh? Oh, let me see what this is. I think I have a UFO video here I want to play. Hold on. No. Hold on. Oh my God, people are so stupid. Those are airplanes. I thought, oh wait, here it is. Let me see something here. Here's a good video from July 9th. It's from Mr. MBB 333. It doesn't matter if you like him or hate him. It's just a video somebody sent to him. People treat Mr. MBB 333 like third phase of moon. All right, here we go.
2023 at 12:41 a.m. This was last night during the overnight hours. And as you could hear David say right there, David took this video last night at 12:41 a.m. He said that's strange as he's watching this thing move through the nighttime sky. very bright, appears to be pretty good size. Maybe it's just the oversaturation from the very bright light. It's difficult to tell. I zoomed in. I used some modification techniques looking for any possible features. I couldn't find any. What you see is what you get. This big bright light that is putting off a lot of light moving through the sky above rural New Brunswick. And here in just a second, you're going to see this thing just vanish. Notice how big this thing is. It's not making any noise. Again, this thing's moving through the sky very quietly, but you couldn't help but notice that it wasn't very stealthy at all. It was very bright moving through the sky. And at times, you'll see what looks like a secondary light, a smaller light above the larger light. Now, here in just a second, you're going to hear him say mosquitoes, as if the mosquitoes were bad last night. Right there, he just said mosquitoes, and this thing's going to disappear right there.
Wow.
And he just said, whoa, where'd it go? It just disappeared. Now the
That's
sky
crazy.
is pitch black. Because
You know, there's several videos like that. He's doing something.
Bright light above rural New Brunswick. And coming up, in fact, right here, I took a segment of the video, about 10 seconds worth, and I modified 3 segments looking for, again, wings, maybe a tail fin, maybe other lights, something that could be possibly recognizable. And there wasn't anything recognizable. However, as you can see right there, I did manage to pull forward a secondary light that wasn't necessarily on all the time. Maybe it was, but it just wasn't visible because of the extreme brightness of the larger object right there that again was moving through the sky above rural New Brunswick, Canada. Great video by David taken last night at 12:41 a.m.
I don't know. You know what I don't like? There's only one thing I don't like about it is that it could be a drone with a light on it. I don't think it is. I've never seen anything like that. But I've recorded strange things. All right, let's get to a little bit of work. Oh, all right. Elizondo. Wow. Sean Ryan called Lou Elizondo out for being a disinformation agent. And apparently it's being a big deal. If you don't know Sean Ryan, he's a former Navy SEAL and a CIA contractor. He's the real deal veteran. And he's called out Lou Elizondo. And that to me is pretty interesting. We all know. Don't you know? Do you know? Or do you think you know? Because I think I know that Lou Elizondo is just all bullshit. Everything about that guy was completely made up. That's how I feel. Other than the stuff that we could find out about him on public information. There's just something wrong about Lou. And if there's something that doesn't make sense, then there's something wrong. And that's usually how it is. So here it is, Sean Ryan.
Information agents, these knocks. I have somebody that comes to mind, and we were talking about him at lunch. Lou Elizondo. Is he one of them?
Oh, of course. I mean, as soon as he emerged on the stage, I had a very senior guy at CIA who's worked this issue since 1979.
These disinformation agents, these knocks. I have somebody that comes to mind. And
so if Lou's a disinformation agent, then everything that we saw from Lou was bullshit. That's why those 3 videos aren't UFOs. You want to know what they did? Why those 3 videos were brought to the light as real UFOs at first? Because it's easy to fool the public with non-UFOs that could be mistaken for UFOs. Does that sound familiar? Holy mackerel, that's what Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp are doing. Giving us videos not being of UFOs, but look like they could be of UFOs. It's a game they're playing, and very poorly, I might add. But To the casual observer of ufology, they're heroes. They don't care about us. Why do you think they don't care what we say? We're nothing. We're the minority. Isn't that amazing? They can get away with lying and being disinfo agents, and there's nothing we can do about it but this. And how many people is it really reaching? 1,200? Sad. I want to reach tens of thousands with this message, but we're shadow banned just like every other paranormal channel because they're part of the same team. That's why. They're on that side of ufology. The people that monitor YouTube are on that side. Because if they weren't, we would have tens of thousands of eyes. All of us would. Amy in the morning, Goof on at night, and everything in between. Third phase of Moon, they got 800,000 subscribers. They should be getting hundreds of thousands of views on all their videos. Shadow ban. Because they don't believe in UFOs and aliens and the paranormal. They think it's nonsense. They think it's dangerous somehow. I don't know. But because they don't agree with this side of like anything paranormal, we get shadow banned. God, remember when we did that video a month ago? At 9,500 people here. And then when Greer's video came out the next day, we had 800 almost. That's the way it should be. I'm not saying we need 800 people here every night. But at this point, after 4 years, we should have 400 or 500 live. But YouTube won't allow it. Do you know, after I got the 2,700 subscribers last month, I now have negative 104. I've lost 104 subscribers. And it's going to keep going backwards. We may be at 12,000. We're going the opposite way because YouTube won't allow it. Isn't that amazing? You don't believe me? Here, let me show you. I'm going to show you what popped up, but it's not 100%. It's only the last 28 days. But I took a screenshot. I got to cover up my one thing here. But look at this. It says negative 42 subscribers. Oops. Fuck. Anyway, that's it for the show. You get it. I'm out of here. Thank you for hanging out tonight. Thank you, moderators and super chatters and everybody else for hanging out and supporting Goof On. Mucho gusto, generoso. What's that? There was something that came in? What else? Oh, my God. Holy shit sack. David Wilcox threw down $50 on PayPal, and he says it's all love. Dude. Thank you, man. That's unreal. David Wilcox, like, you're incredible. You know, what can I say? You are a continuing supporter of the show. Buffering, yeah, you know, I know it's buffering here too. I think it's my internet. Hold on a second. I'm looking something. Hold on. You know, it's funny. Solar Marshall says, I have to click to see you on. I don't even get notifications. Hold on. Nah, I'm not gonna. I may do the merch. I don't know. I have the store ready to go, and I've got a couple of weeks. If I don't hit publish in a few weeks, it'll fall off. I don't really think I want to go that route, guys. When am I having panels again? I've been buffer. I know. It's terrible on my end. It's got to be me. I think it's the internet. Sorry about that. No, we just did a roundtable show at we do roundtables the last Friday of every month, but tomorrow I think I'm going to open up. Now look, and I know Von Helton wants to come on, dude, but if you're coming on, I can't have you overtalk everybody and jump in whenever you want, or else I'm going to have to mute you. But if you want to come on tomorrow, I'll probably open up. I think we should discuss it. I'll have a midweek. We'll have a midweek discussion. How about that? About the current state. If you guys want to come on, I'll make sure we do that tomorrow. So we'll have a panel show tomorrow. We'll do it. Yeah, I love them too. It's just we keep getting the same 5 people. It doesn't become I don't know, when you hear the same things over and over again, and it kind of gets repetitious. But if you guys are going to come on and, say something that's interesting and that's relevant, then you're more than welcome to come on. I can't have people jumping over other people because they believe something more than that person. You can't be that way if you're going to come on, or I will kick you out and I don't give a shit. David Wilcox, again, thank you very much, bro, for the 50. That you do have an idea. Thank you. And Intergalactic Angler just threw down $2. He says, we need a Jerry Goodbye Springer in rich words. Oh, okay. The final thought? Right. Intergalactic Angler. Thank you for that. I'll do that. Appreciate it. And then you said, don't have 2 people rich. Too many, maybe 3. Don't have 2. Well, we'll have no more than 5. What time do you? No. The show is now 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Eastern. I changed the time. 8 p.m. Yes, ground rules. There will be. I tell you what, I will let Blue on the panel. I'll let anybody I want on the panel. How's that? I mean, he's your hater, but let me tell you something, Von Helton. I don't think you're going to be in a very popular position. I learned a lot about the history of you. Bro, you have got to, if you're going to come on my show, you're going to have to control yourself. And that's it. That's it. I like you. I mean, me and you personally, I don't have any beef with you at all. I just know about your history a little bit. I'm not part of it, but from what I heard, you get a lot of hate. And it seems like you bring it on yourself. If Blue is going to come on, I'm interested to hear what he might say, but I don't want there to be a war. But you see, the whole thing about that, I'll kick you both off because I don't want your shit show to be on my show. And we don't do that shit here anymore. Or do we? Von Helden, I said it. You get it. If Blue comes on, I'm not going to allow it. So if he's going to attack you for something you're saying that's relevant to my conversation, then you can have a discussion. But if he starts shitting on you or you start shitting on him about shit that has nothing to do with the topic here, then that's a problem. You understand? I'm not going to let it get out of control like that. Everybody's going to get the same respect. And I know what it's like to be you, the most hated person on the internet. I was there before. I know what it's like. It can be fun. I'm not against drama. Just don't bring your problems to my show. That's it. I think that's pretty reasonable, right? So yes. So tomorrow we'll be doing a panel show. If you come on, just keep it relevant to this show. Don't go on a tangent and say, hey, back in 1954, I remember when I was on the old river there with my dog. And you have to wear a shirt. Actually, for you, James Paul Von Helton, you don't have to wear a shirt. Can you imagine? That would be unbelievable. That would be funny to me. That would be hysterical. Because you wouldn't expect Von Helton to do something. Please don't do that, by the way. I was joking. Yeah, we are going. Well, the show's not over. It was going to be over, but, I've got requests to take care of. So here's one request that you'll love. Come on, everybody. You know where we are. What are they?
What are they?
What are they?
Why are they?
Why are they? What do they mean? Come on, everybody.
What are they? Why are they? What do they mean?
What do they mean? What are they, everybody?
Are they harbingers of world change?
Yeah.
These secrets in the fields, are they harbingers of world change?
All right, that's about all I can handle tonight. All right. Well, hey, Tim, how you doing? You can do your Willie Nelson sitting around in your underwear, Tim Freestone. That would be cool. Good to see everybody. Yep. Hey, Nathan, how you doing, Chief? Apparently, those of us that cannot see blue chicken are blocked. Blue chicken? Why? What happened to blue? Whatever happened to blue chicken? Remember Blue? He's not blocked. Whatever happened? True be you. Thank you for the $2. You didn't have to do that. What are they? You got it. Mucho gusto generoso. True be you, $2. Right at the end. Appreciate it. Thank you. Man, you guys are unbelievable. Unbelievable. I do. I really have the best chat. I think I have the best of everything here, and that's why they hate us. They don't hate us because just because. Why do they? I wonder why. Third phase of moon. That's when it all happened. They got mad because I defended third phase of moon. When I say they, it's really nobody. Really, right? If you think about it, I mean, they have the same problem. Nobody cares. I don't know what I want to say, but it's not good. There was a few videos I wanted to play tonight. I'm not. We just went off on another tangent. All right, I'll play this video and then we'll get the hell out of here. In 1993, this was filmed in Gulf Breeze. I could stop right there and some of you will get the video. You'll understand what video I'm talking about. When I saw this video for the first time, two thoughts came to my head. One was that I recognized that object. Two, it looked real. But you be the judge. Gulf Breeze, 1993, Florida, on display in all of its glory. One of the best UFO videos of all time, or one of the biggest hoaxes of all time.
Whoa.
Yeah, we saw a very similar earlier on, remember?
Yes. Very much on the vertical, hanging there in the sky.
Again, without moving.
That's true, Billy Nice. That is true, isn't it?
Definitely unusual for shape of what traditionally at least is considered a UFO.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit
seems
that
to come from
description.
another factory somewhere.
Right.
Remember this? I thought
We'll have to
this
get an
was
extreme close-up of that and see as close as we can what kind of
you know, this video is not clear, damn it.
articulation it has.
I thought this was a Star Wars
Seems to be moving. And that
a Star
seems to
Wars
be not
thing.
camera movement.
Look at it moving though. Isn't that cool? When you speed something up like that, you can see truer movement a lot
I
easier.
think it's,
That's a bird, I think.
right. That definitely was a genuine Earth bird there that went by.
So now, apparently, the guy that shot this video
Another
was
more for Gulf
blamed
Breeze.
was blamed for hoaxing, but I've never seen evidence of it. Here's
Oh,
another.
I think this is going to be similar to the
It is same
the
guy.
one
We
before.
just
Yeah,
saw, right, the
the one just
perpendicular.
hanging. Yeah, although still
So far,
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
maybe it's
I,
even the same thing.
I talked on the AZ UFO show. I talked to a friend of this guy, the guy who shot the video, and he told me he thinks it's a fake. Even though he can't prove it, he says, I've seen the object in the guy's garage. Now, at the time, I couldn't see his face when he said it because it was all done off camera, you know, on a stream. But when I listen back to it, it sounds like he might be lying. But a couple of people accused him of faking this. And that's because it's too good to be true. This object has never been seen before or after, which is another issue I have with this object. Some people think it's being strung out over the ocean with the fishing line. That's why it was going back and forth before with the fast motion. I don't know. Yeah, it was all over the news back in the day. Yeah, the Ed Walters video. You know, I think the whole Ed Walters thing is the debunking of Ed Walters was bullshit. The object that was, see, when Ed Walters moved, new people moved into his house. He's the guy who caught this UFO over a road. You know, it's got windows on it. And he was also, I think, on Jerry Springer or Oprah. But these people move into his house and they go up in the attic to, you know, do whatever they're going to do. And they say they found a model of the UFO that was used in the hoax. But when you look at the model and you compare it to the actual photos and videos of the object, similar, but way different. Yeah, let's just say, yeah, there were windows, but the spacing between the windows on the one they found was a lot thicker than the spacing we saw in the video. All right, I could say chalk it up to grainy video quality. But when you look at the other parts, you know, there is, on the model, it looked like there were some things that weren't perfectly symmetrical and they looked a little angled differently. And then when you looked at the video, it didn't match up. I saw several things from the object that was taken out of the attic to the actual video or pictures of Ed Walters stuff, and I think he's being set up. I think it's all bullshit. I think it's a way to discredit a legitimate UFO sighting. And you may have seen some of the best UFO videos in the 80s, and they've been dismissed. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of video editing software in the 80s. As a matter of fact, there was none for the public that I'm aware of. I mean, yeah, you could take a VHS video and do something with it. I don't know how, but the Cousins brothers did it. So I know it's possible in the early 90s, but they didn't have software you could just buy and get on a computer because there weren't really any computers that had that kind of power for home. Anyway, that's it for tonight. We're right at the top of hour number 2. That's where we say good night again, part 2. Thank you, moderators and super chatters, for all your help and support. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. We'll have a panel discussion about whistleblowers, corrupt government, and the media. If you want to join, follow the rules. You don't interrupt anybody. Von Helton, you can come on the show. But I'm just not going to have a shit show on my show. So, thank you. Newcomers and veterans giving GoofOn a chance. I appreciate it. I know there must be another show that came on and I also said goodbye 20 minutes ago. I understand that. But thank you very much for hanging out here at GoofOn. And tomorrow we'll be back. We do it all the time here. We try our best to bring truthology. Truthology for ufology for you. All right. We will be back tomorrow, like I said. Be safe. Be kind. And alien bless.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.